Sad also?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that the animals can suffer like we can?
Yes.
I don't believe they're conscious about it.
A dog that you're kicking is not conscious that he's in pain?
I mean, he feel it, but of course he feel it.
So he can feel it, yes. It doesn't matter if he understands it. It's like a baby. A baby does not understand.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a reason to do that.
Yeah,
of course
no.
not. Of course
so I think we can agree that they can suffer in a similar way.
Of course, yeah.
So do you think it is necessary for us to consume meat, cheese, eggs, dairy?
I think it should be done in a better way than this.
But do you think it is necessary?
Necessary? No.
For our health? No?
I don't think so.
And do you think it is necessary for our health to eat animal products?
No, I don't really like it.
But is it necessary for health reasons?
I don't think so.
So we can be happy, healthy vegans?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you know the difference, vegetarian, vegan?
Yes.
Yeah, vegan, like no animal product,
Exactly,
no milk,
yeah.
no eggs.
Also, veganism is not a diet or something that you do for the environment. It's a moral stance against oppression of non-human animals. Just like feminism is a moral stance against the oppression of all genders, veganism is an oppression against speciesism. Do you know that word?
Speciesism?
Yeah, do you know that? It's just like racism, like we say bad race because he's black. It's like in speciesism we say, we can use you as an object because you are
just a chicken or you're
just a
whatever,
chicken,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But do you think that these animals are individuals, persons?
I'm gonna say they're just chickens.
You're gonna say that just
Yeah, I'm
so a
gonna say
chicken
that.
is not an individual?
Oh, it's an individual chicken, but
Yeah.
it's still a chicken. But it's not
I mean,
a
it's
reason
just
to
a
torture
human.
him.
Yeah, I mean, he is just a human. Like, he's just a human, but he's still an individual. You know what I mean? If he were a little bit more stupid, then he would be just as stupid as a chicken in a body of a human. But he is just a different species. But he's just a human. He's just a It's the same thing, you know?
Or he would have to be a hell of a lot more stupid if you want to
Yeah,
compare him to a
but,
chicken.
but still, some people are as stupid as chickens or as stupid as pigs. Stupid, I don't like that
I
word.
would agree with you.
But that
for
is
sure.
not a reason to mistreat them on the
Of
basis
course
of their
not. No,
species.
of course
yeah?
not. No, I
So, okay.
totally agree
so
with that.
are you against racism?
If I'm against racism,
Yes.
yeah, of course.
Why are you against racism?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
That's
Because
what?
Because
It doesn't make any sense. But do you
We're
think
all
that
the same.
speciesism makes sense?
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
He's a bit different.
So do you think that
You
speciesism
like
makes
meat,
sense?
that's why.
Of course, I like meat.
Yeah, I
But
like
I
meat
agree
too.
that we shouldn't treat them like that.
But my
I
question was,
totally
do you
agree.
think that speciesism makes more sense than racism?
Not when I'm looking at that thing.
All right, so imagine that you had to look at this every time that you buy animal products. Would you go vegan?
If I would go vegan,
Yes.
looking at
see it
this,
like
yeah, I mean, I would tend to force more on the vegetables kind of thing,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So, but if you're against racism, then you have to be morally consistent against speciesism. And how are you against speciesism? How does that show in your actions?
That's a hell of a lot of a complicated question for a Sunday afternoon, but
Yeah, it's an important
important
question.
one. Yeah,
If you
I
do
got you.
violence, has to be justified, and not being vegan means
Yeah.
being violent towards other animals.
Yeah.
So the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how do we justify violence against other animals? On the basis of their species? For our taste pleasure? For our tradition? Is that a good justification?
no, I'm totally against the fact that they're treating them like that. It should be more.
How can I morally correctly kill someone and eat their body? How can I do that?
I just put a bullet in his head.
Can I do that? Boom.
To me,
Yeah, and eat you? Is that okay?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to taste amazing. To be
Yeah,
honest.
sure. But can I do that?
Stop.
Is that okay if I do that?
No, it's not okay.
So why is it okay with them? Because of their species?
I think this guy. Yeah, we can agree to this. I mean,
This is not
I'm
about
totally
agreeing to
cheering-
disagree, because I'm not agreeing here.
I know.
Because you're just irrational. If you say that this is okay to do it because they have another species, that's just like being a racist. And you are a speciesist. It's the same thing.
There's a bit of a stretch here, but
No,
okay.
why is the stretch? Explain to me why that is a stretch.
We're on our way. We
Don't
just gotta
laugh
cut it.
about it. This is about
I'm not
life and death.
laughing, I
Why is
know.
that a stretch? How can you justify your violence towards other animals if
It's not my violence.
Yeah, you
but-
are. If you consume animal products, it's your violence. It's your blood. The blood is on your hands.
Okay.
So how can you justify it?
I think we should just go now.
Will you go vegan, or will you still contribute to violence
I tried
towards other
actually
animals?
to go vegan for a few times. I actually liked it. The food tastes amazing. I felt great, and I'm
Yeah.
absolutely not against it. But to
Yeah.
me, I'm not gonna, you know.
The thing is not, we don't try to be not oppressing, we just do it because it's a social justice movement against oppression. And we don't try to not be racist. Once we understand that it's wrong, we stop. And the same goes for speciesism. If you understand that you yourself do not want to go to the slaughterhouse, you would not send another human to the slaughterhouse, you would not take the lactational secretions of another human, then where is your justification to do that to other animals?
Okay, let's just continue. Have a great day.
Can I give you a card for more information?
Sure, why not?
Please look at this. Think
Okay,
about
I will.
why you oppress animals, and don't only
Okay.
think about it, but stop.
Okay.
Because as long as you're not vegan, you are being as irrational as a racist and as brutal as a murderer.
Okay, I'm gonna think about it. Thank you.
So we're here to show how animals are being exploited for the things we eat and wear, and we're here to talk about animal liberation and veganism. So you said sad. Why do you feel sad?
Because you're seeing the animals being killed, and
Yeah,
it's not.
it's not a nice thing.
thing,
So
yeah.
you think that they can suffer, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So is that animal abuse in your eyes?
Yeah.
And you're against animal abuse, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think does that happen? It's the milk industry. So for milk to produce, do you know where the milk comes from?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cow.
It comes from the cow, right? So why?
taken away.
Exactly. Why does a female make milk?
Yeah.
For her baby. Exactly. So here in the milk industry, we inseminate the female every year, and we take the baby away from her every year.
Yeah.
And usually the baby is either made to calf or after 1 to 2 years killed for the fully grown meat. And the mothers are also always killed once they count as spent dairy cows. So this is what happens for yogurt, for the milk in our coffee, or for cheese. And do you think that suffering is worth that we can have these products? No, actually not. The same goes for eggs, because many people think, okay, vegetarian is good, you know. But every time we buy eggs, it's the same separation into the sexes, because only the female hens lay eggs. And the males, do you know what happens to them?
No.
The males are ground up alive, or they're suffocated or gassed. So because they do put on too little meat, so we don't even raise them. So why do you think that has to be this industry, this animal industry? No. Yeah, exactly. Do you think we need to eat animal products to be healthy? So we don't, yeah. So we know from the biggest consensus on nutrition that we can be happy, healthy vegans as long as we supplement vitamin B12. That's the only nutrient that isn't in animal products that comes from fertile soil.
Yeah.
And also these animals are being given the vitamin B12 so that there is enough. So since we know that we don't have to, why do you think, honestly, do you still consume animal products in any shape, way or form? Just honest. For me, it was, for example, the taste, and that it was my habit because I grew up that way. So tradition. Yeah. Convenience, of course. That's the fourth reason we named them all now. There are only 4 reasons why people consume animal products: convenience, habit, tradition, and taste. Do you think, honestly, now that these reasons are enough to send animals to the slaughterhouse? No. And do you think that? No. Do you know about the word speciesism? Have you ever heard that? So racism, do you know what that is, right? Yeah. So the prototypical form of racism is that person is bad and worth less because he is black, so I can treat them as an object. And in speciesism, we say that person is bad and I can treat them as an object because they're not human. Because there might also not even be pet species. Yeah. So speciesism has these 2 separations into pet and livestock, and then also into human, non-human. And the same form of discrimination that we have in sexism, in racism, is also there in this discriminatory form. Imagine those were humans, human babies. What would we call it? Slavery. Yeah, murder, slavery, maybe even a Holocaust. So if you're against racism, you must also be against speciesism. And how do you choose to be against speciesism? What would you do from now on?
Choose vegan products.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think that sounds daunting? Are you scared of that? No?
Vegan, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it will be a difficult identity shift for you to say I'm vegan now?
No, I think we'll see. No, yeah.
For me at the beginning it was like, oh shit, I'm also vegan now. Because I didn't want to be a hypocrite anymore, because you said you're against animal abuse.
Yeah.
But as long as we consume animal products, we support it, because there is no ethical use of animals, just like children. But for me at the beginning it was weird, And then you get used to it. In the supermarket there are many products. So can I give you one more card for your start into a vegan life for information?
you can.
We don't want money, we don't want any signature, we just want people to go vegan. If you want more information, go there. Look at the movie that is there, it's called Dominion. It just shows all industries, share it, and raise your voice for the voiceless. Fight against oppression, just as you would fight for feminism. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great vegan life. Goodbye. We're here to show how animals are being abused for what we eat, for what we wear, and we're here to confront the consumers with the victims. So what do you feel when you see this? Awful. So this is the dairy industry for milk, for cheese. So we separate the mothers from their calves, because why does a mother make milk? Do you know? For the baby, yeah. So in order for us to make desserts or to make cheese and stuff, we have to separate the baby, and usually we make the baby to calves meat. We kill them so that we can take the milk. And once the mother, she does that every year, loses her child, is inseminated by a human, and once she can no longer take this pain, physical and mental, she's also in the same way murdered like her child. So this is terrible. And do you think that these animals can suffer?
Of course.
Yes, yeah. And you're against animal abuse and cruelty.
Of course.
So do you think it is necessary for us to eat animal products?
No, but it's hard to eat without.
But it's not necessary.
No, no.
So we can, do you know what veganism is? So we can be happy, healthy vegans. So we're all vegans, and we do not want your money. We don't want a petition signed or anything. We just want you to go vegan so that you stop abusing animals and that we can have a world without slaughterhouses and without animal oppression. Because do you know of speciesism, the word? Speciesism? No? So you know what racism is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the primary, I'll just explain it once more so we understand. The primary form of racism is, he's black, I can treat him as an object because he's black. Okay. But we say, okay, that's irrational and wrong. And the same thing with speciesism. We say, I can use you as an object because you are not human, because you are not a pet. There are two forms of speciesism. Once we say pets and livestock, and we say humans and non-humans. And is that a good reason to treat somebody like an object because of their species? No. So it's as irrational as racism, and you're against racism.
Yeah.
So if you want to be morally consistent, do you also think that you have to be against speciesism? Yes. So how are you against speciesism? How do you do that? The question that you have to ask yourself is, do you still eat animal products?
Yeah.
Would you eat humans that you send to the slaughterhouse?
No, of course.
No. Would you take their milk? No. So the only reason you do that is because everybody does that, because of tradition and because of speciesism. That is the fundamental of all these, tradition and taste. So if you don't want to be speciesist, that means that you have to be either also eating humans to be morally consistent, which you wouldn't do, or you have to be vegan.
You know, it's hard. Look, we are from Romania, so in Romania to eat vegan, it's like premium food, you know?
Expensive.
It's so expensive.
The expensive...
It's cheaper to eat meat than plant-based. Milk, vegan milk, it's like €5, and normal milk it's €1.
Would you also eat humans if their bodies were cheaper?
No, but if I don't, if I'm hungry, what,
yeah, I understand.
You know, if I don't have
but
money,
if we
I
look at
agree with
the...
you, but it's hard.
I also totally agree with you. I would go vegan tomorrow if I could, but I have some health problem that
there is no disease that needs you to eat animal products. There is no disease. But which health problem do you have? I'm a doctor, and I can tell you that there is no disease.
Pancreatitis.
Pardon?
Pancreatitis.
Okay. If you have pancreatitis, then there is still no reason for you to eat animal products. There is no correlation in that making that pancreatitis better.
It's just that I have so little options.
Yes.
To eat.
Yes.
I don't know what I would eat if
Yes.
I would just cancel meat.
Yes. But does that justify killing someone? No. So the thing is, you have forums, there's possibilities around that, and I understand that it's difficult, also if you're from Romania. But concerning the money topic, since I've gone vegan, I've spent less on food, because what is the cheapest thing in the supermarket, even in Romania? Potatoes, rice, grains, and fruits and vegetables are also expensive if you eat meat. So you should eat those anyways. Legumes like beans, chickpeas are very cheap. So that there's also probably a way to get that in Romania.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Yeah.
They are cheap.
So if you are a very little money, the best thing that you can do, and the most cheapest people on the earth who have the little money, they eat vegetables and they eat grains and potatoes and rice, and that's all they eat. And they have less chronic diseases, and less financial problems, because the most expensive thing there is meat, and I see that in Romania it might be cheaper, but I think that you understand now that it's actually not a problem. You just have to shift your diet a little bit. And if you see this and you think, would you still eat animal products even if you have pancreatitis, if you had to look at something like this before?
No, of course.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if here in this country, but in our country, when you are buying a packet of cigarettes, you
Yeah.
have disease on,
Yes,
on the
yeah.
back photos. So if I see this on
Yes,
the product,
yes.
of course I'm not gonna eat.
But you are smart enough, I believe, that you don't have to see it every time to know it.
Of course.
Because when you see meat from now on, you will maybe think of me and say, okay, she was an annoying vegan, but I understand
No,
because
I don't think.
those are bodies of someone. Those are the mother milk of someone. So do you think you can go vegan now, or do you still have to break through excuses?
You know, I cannot lie to you. Tomorrow I'm gonna be vegan, but of
But
course
you
it's
don't have
gonna-
to take it to me. But
Yeah.
what's your reason to not be vegan?
It's like you have to change your lifestyle.
Yes,
from
of course.
tomorrow.
But it's not about your lifestyle, it's about their life.
Of course.
So isn't that worth it? Because when you're 90, you can look back at this day and say, okay, we had an intense conversation. It was very deep questions maybe. But from this day on, no animal had to stand at the slaughterhouse because of you. When you're 90, you can look back to this day, or you can say, no, I was too comfortable, I was too lazy. And many animals stood at the slaughterhouse for me. So you can take the decision, how many animals until you are finally vegan? 0 or many? What do you choose?
Ideally 0.
Ideally 0. So how do you do that if you choose the 0?
We just stop eating animal products.
Exactly, and stop buying leather, and also with
Yeah,
makeup.
with clothes I don't have any.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, and I know it's not the most sympathetic thing to hear from me now, but not being vegan is not okay, just like being racist is not okay. It's just a form of oppression that nobody talks about, but it's the biggest form of oppression that has the most victims and the most grueling forms on this planet. And I realize that this is a great shift in your mind, to have an identitary shift to, fuck, I'm a vegan now. But you understand that it is the moral baseline to just leave the animals alone. That is all that I want to communicate. Can I give you a card for more information?
Sure.
Just look at this at home, please.
Yeah.
Think about this conversation and think about if you choose the 0 or if you choose many animals. It's in your hands.
Thank you.
Thank you so
you.
much. Have a great vegan life.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Meat and eggs and milk for health?
I think yes.
Yes? Do you also think? Actually, it's not necessary. The medical consensus is that we can be happy, healthy vegans. Do you know what veganism is?
Yes.
So that means that we don't consume animal products. I, since 6 years, don't eat eggs, don't eat meat, don't eat milk, and we can be happy, healthy. Everybody here is vegan, and we can be just as healthy as non-vegan. The only thing that we need is vitamin B12. That you can buy anywhere, like every beeper, every DM. So if it's not necessary, why do you think that you consume animal products? For me, I can say, for me it was tradition, like my parents taught me, and it tasted good. It was normal for me, you know? But is taste and tradition and your habit, is that a good reason to be brutal to animals? No, no. And for us also, we understood at some point, tradition and taste not good for being violent. So if you now know that you don't have to do this, do you think it is difficult to be vegan?
Yes, I think it's difficult
Okay, what is difficult about it?
because I think we are have to eat. We are have to eat meat.
We have to, or what?
Yes,
But I already said we don't have to. It's the medical consensus.
Medical consensus.
Yes.
Okay,
For health, you don't have to eat animal products.
I will read some
Yes.
medical.
Yeah. So the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, that's the biggest academy on nutrition on the whole planet, has put out papers, so has the Australian Academy, so has the English Academy, that there is no reason for us to consume animal products, so we can be nutritionally adequate as vegans in any life stage. As a toddler, as a breastfeeding woman, as a grown young man, as an old person, or as an extreme sporty person. So since we know this, I don't think that taste and tradition, you already said, is not good reason to harm animals. What will you do from now on?
We will learn some papers about it. And,
I will give you a card for more information, okay? Look at this movie on there. And if you put yourself in the place of the animal, okay?
Yes,
If you don't want to be at the slaughterhouse, don't do it to them.